heard the cries, no one saw the baby crawling. So it's like that entity completely disappeared and was no longer in the house. What we didn't know was that there was another entity that was now roaming the halls in that house. What's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, super welcome. I don't know. Glad you're here. Hope you stay. It's super fun here. At least I think so. So, today is day 4 of the 31-day series Ghosts Glam, where we do our makeup together and I tell you a creepy, paranormal, scary, weird story that happened to me, in my life. I don't think audio is recording, so hold on. Just kidding, it was recording audio. Okay, so today is kind of like a continuation from yesterday's video. So if you have not watched that, go back and watch it, because I kind of give you an overlook and like kind of set you up for what we're going to talk about here. And yeah, we're just going to do something kind of simple. Yesterday I was telling you guys about this baby ghost that lives in my mom's house, and we ended in me telling you how this baby ghost, this thing, like, grows, like it ages as the years go by. None of this thing is the same as the entity that we talked about yesterday, but I feel like it is, because unless there's like multiple entities, I'm not sure, but I feel like it is. So let's get into the story. So we left off with the fact that this baby ghost was growing and aging as the time went on. And so after a bit, we didn't see or hear a baby cry. Like, it was just not what was happening anymore. And like after a while, no one heard the cries, no one saw the baby crawling. So it's like that entity completely disappeared and was no longer in the house. What we didn't know was that there was another entity that was now roaming the halls in that house. And the thing was that by this time, my aunt wasn't helping around the house anymore. She really wasn't coming over as much. And my other tias, like, they would come over, but it wasn't nearly as much. I don't think so, at least. Everyone, like, was doing their own thing, given at this point they were no longer in their mid to late 20s. They were like 30-year-olds, mid 30s, whatever. And so they kind of all had their own shit to do, their own houses. Most of them had multiple kids by this point, so they weren't coming to the house a lot. But this means I was older. I was maybe like 10, maybe 11. So I remember a lot more. And this is where the stories start getting good, because I have more memory of when I'm older. Therefore, from this story on, it's going to be from ages like 10 to now. So anyways, my tias are not coming over as much, all this stuff. But just because there was no longer a baby ghost does not mean there was not an entity. Because if there was, then we wouldn't be here. So when I was younger, when I was like 10, I still loved hanging out in my mom's room. Like, I loved it. By this point, my sister and I were not sharing a room anymore. And I had moved into what was the office, if you remember from the last video. So into that second bedroom where the baby was being heard all those years prior. And so now I was there, but I still loved hanging out in my mom's room. Like, that was probably my favorite place in the whole house. And so I would spend a lot of time in her room. Like, a lot of time. And I just remember the way her room was set up is like her bed was directly across from the door. So from her bed, it was like straight shut to the door, and then right next to the door there was like this little space, and then there was the TV. And so I remember I would watch Disney Channel on there all the time, and many times what would happen is that I'd be watching TV, and from the corner of my eye I would see an older boy, an older kid, probably around my age or a little bit younger, but definitely older than a baby, would just kind of like peek into my mom's room from the entryway. And it was like a constant thing. Like, I can't even say this only happened once. Like, it happened so many times. Like, it happened so many times that I was like, I would get in there and I was like waiting for this kid, I guess, to peek his little head in. And then, like, when I would look up, he would like move away. And so this kept going for a while. It would be like anytime I was in my mom's room, some kid would peek in from the like little foyer or entryway area into her room and just like chill. And I remember for a bit I would just kind of like wait to see how long he would stay there. I would slowly like look up to try and catch him, or I would like quickly look up to try and catch him. Like, I tried everything to see this entity or this kid and like catch him. I don't know what my 10-year-old brain was thinking. Like, if I did catch him, would it be like hi, or would it like, what would I have done, you know? I don't know. Maybe I would have tried to befriend it. I really have no idea. And so this lasted for a couple of years, literally years, until one day I just stopped seeing it. You know, even if I tried, even if I didn't try, like, I stopped seeing it. And for years I kind of like would think about this kid entity of like, I wonder what it was. I wonder what happened to him. Why did it stop showing up? You know, all the stuff. And it wasn't until a couple years ago. I had moved out. I moved out of my mom's home when I was 18. I moved to LA. And when I moved out from my mom's house, I would try and visit like once a year. And, you know, the first couple of years, it was like nothing. Like, I would go back to my mom's house and I would feel a little bit off. Like, the energy was off. But also a lot of things had happened since I had lived there. So I was like, okay, I'm probably just not used to this energy. And so I just like ignored it, whatever. And then I would go back home to LA, to my apartment, and I would just like, I didn't really think much of this entity, this kid that lived at my mom's house. Because like I said, after a bit. Like, I want to say when I turned like 14 or 15, I stopped seeing it. So, like I said, I moved out, really didn't think much about it. Would go back once a year-ish to visit my mom. Nothing weird happened. It was just like chill. We were fine. Until, I want to say maybe like 5 years ago, I went to go visit my mom, and I was hanging out in her room. And she no longer had the TV up. She had changed, well, I mean, the TV was still there, but like she didn't use it. So I was just hanging out on my phone, minding my own business, when all of a sudden, from the corner of my eye, I see this guy peeking in through her door from the entryway. Again, reminder, this is not from the outside, because if it was from the outside, all these years, I would have thought like some creep or something. But this is like from inside the home into her room. And it was like instant flash, like memories flashing from all those years ago of me seeing that kid peeking in every single day. And I quickly look up. And instead of the shadow person not being there anymore, I look up and I see the motion of movement. Yo, when I tell you, I was shocked. So for the first time in like, I don't know, 20 years, I want to say, I saw movement straight on versus just seeing the shadow from the corner of my eye. And so I was like really weirded out. I was just kind of like, what just happened? And so I get up and I go try and see what the hell that was. But of course, there's nothing there. So I turned the light on because it was off. My mom hates having the lights on in her house when it's unnecessary. I think that's like a Mexican mom thing. And so I go and look, I turn the light on, nothing is there. And then I go back to her room and I sit on her bed and I just kind of wait. And nothing happens. So I'm like, okay, am I going crazy? Like, what is happening? And so I wait and wait and wait, and nothing happens. And I just say, all right, cool. But at the same time, I say, okay, if there is something in here, let yourself know. Like, it's been way too damn long. I say this mentally because I guess I'm a chicken and I cannot say that out loud. Well, I couldn't at that time. And so I say that mentally, and I kid you not even 5 minutes later, I see it again. And I'm like, all right, cool. It hurt me in my brain, right? That's what I'm thinking. But I'm like, I literally cannot be 100% sure, because if it's not 100% proven or disproven that it's not something else, then I don't believe it. I'm kind of like a skeptical believer. Like, I will try to get any other explanation before I say it's paranormal. And so, that kind of just happened, and I saw it again, and I kind of moved on. And then now anytime I go back to my mom's house, I'm like on the lookout for this shadow kid shadow person. I guess it's not a kid anymore because it looked like a man now. So it's like growing, like I said in the last video. But I don't know if it's the same entity, that's the thing. But regardless, like I said, anytime I go to my mom's house, I'm kind of like on the lookout for this. I added so much blush for this thing that sometimes appears, sometimes doesn't. My theory for this entity is that it is a shadow person. And with shadow people, it is said that they are entities that have never been human, but also are not like evil entities. They just kind of are. Like, they just are. They live in a different dimension. I'm obsessed with this glitter. So they're like not people, not humans, but they're like entities from different dimensions that kind of just roam the earth. So if I had to guess what it was, I would assume it's a shadow person. But I guess we will never know, because ever since that last time that I saw it, I haven't seen it again. And I've been to my mom's house a good amount of times after that, and like I said, I haven't seen it again. So I don't know if it's still there. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it disappeared for so long. I don't know. But like I said, if I had to guess what it was, I'd say it was a shadow person. Easy. And like, I wish I could say that was the last paranormal-ish thing that happened in that house, but we still have one more day of stories from that particular home, from my childhood home, which will be tomorrow. And then after that, we're gonna go into other stories, another house that we lived in, and that one is gonna be like 5 days. It is a massive story, even though we lived in that house for like a year. But there's so much about that other house. But as far as this one goes, those were like the main events. And then, like I said, there's one more story or one more situation that I want to share with you guys in this series. And we will talk about that one tomorrow. But I want to know your thoughts. Like, do you think this thing is a shadow person? Do you think this thing is gone? Like, what do you think it is? Do you think maybe it is a being from another dimension that somehow is like figured out how to cross dimensions and just loves my mom's house for some reason? Like, I want to know what you think it is, because I already kind of gave you my thoughts on it, and that's what I think. I think it's shadow people, and they just, I feel like it's one. I feel like it's the same entity, but I don't know, could be multiple. Regardless, I am really enjoying this series, and I hope you are too, because it still has like 20 some days to go. Like 20, can't do math right now, 26 I think. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me your thoughts, what you think it is. Do you think it's the same entity? And which one has been like your favorite story so far? I am so excited for the rest of the series. And if you enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe, because I'm really trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of October. And I think we're getting closer and closer. So why the hell not? I hope you have an incredible day whenever you're watching this, And if you are not, remember that life is cyclical. So this is just temporary, whatever you're going through. I'm sending you so much love and keep being fucking incredible. All right. Love you. Oh, P.S. This doll right here, this little girl, she is actually from my old house, the one we've been talking about. So it's just kind of fun that she's in the background. I've had her since I was born, so that's always fun. Anyways, that is all. See you tomorrow. Bye.